Hey, how's it going? So with Flight Simulator, it can be a little bit confusing trying to set up a control if it's not already in the system. So I have all CH products, CH Eclipse Yoke, and a CH Throttle Quadrant. So I'm going to quickly show you how to set those up in the simulator. Okay, so with the yoke, I have it set here assigned. Again, I'm showing you how my yoke is set up, not how to necessarily assign any yoke. This is specific for the CH product, but with similar yokes, you could probably do the same thing. So I have mine shown assigned, so you can only see what I have set, and I have it all expanded. So I'm going to put up an overlay so you can get an idea what the button layout is, because I think that's the biggest issue a lot of people are having is they don't know what the buttons actually are. So here you can see all the buttons, what they are. So unless you have your original documentation, you may not have this. So in my case, again, I have a CH Eclipse, so go to the internet, find your yoke with the button layout. This way you can use this in the simulator, because the simulator just gives you numbers. As you can see here, it's just numbers. If you don't know what number 3 is on your yoke, it's not going to help you. You get something like this, where you have an overlay and a layout, you can kind of see where all the buttons are, which is a POV, which axis are actually centering axis, rotation axis, or just straight axis. It's going to help you quite a bit. So let's go ahead and walk through this real quick. So these are my camera settings. So right out the bat here, we have 2 sections on the yoke, which will be on the right hand yoke section, which is here. So this cluster, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 3, 4. And I have those set to increase, decrease cockpit height, forward and backward cockpit height, and then left and right cockpit height. And what that is cockpit meaning the actual pilot, your eyesight, where your head is actually sitting in the cockpit. That's how you move that. Okay? Scrolling down, we can see the standard POV, which is here. Okay, your hat switch. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Just line up the POV with whatever it is corresponding. Cockpit look up right, POV look up right. So that's pretty simple. I also have the toggle for the cockpit view. And again, cockpit view, in my opinion, should be called pilot view, right? It is in the cockpit, but it's basically the pilot's view, or what would be called, like from FSX, what 3D forward or X-plane 3D pilot view. So to toggle the cockpit view, I have it set to 10, which is this button here. Okay. Now we're on external views. Set up your POV exactly the same as you did for the internal cockpit view. The simulator will throw an error saying that the button is already used, but that's okay. You can map them both for internal and external views. Not a problem. Scrolling down a little bit more, we can see we have our zoom and unzoom, and then our external toggle. That'll be here. We have our external toggle is 9, so 9 external, 10 internal, 3 and 4. 4 again is to zoom, 3 is to unzoom. Now we've just alleviated the need for using a mouse with that setup right there. Okay, now we'll go to the Autopilot section, scroll down. For the Autopilot, I'm using 21, 22, and 23, which are these 3 red buttons here. 21, 22, and 23. Now, the Autopilot Master I have set to 21, is here. So basically I'll take off, do whatever I need to do, and when I'm ready to hit the Autopilot, I hit the center button. And then generally speaking, I already have my heading bug set. I'll hit 21, which will be my heading. And then once I reach altitude, 22. So basically that's how I have it set up. The middle button is Master, Autopilot, heading, and altitude. Brakes, I have it set to 5/6. Up or down will work. I didn't care which one, but brakes is going to be the innermost toggle here. Again, you can see here 5, 6, up or down, either one's brakes, so that's how I toggle my parking brake. Now we're going to go to the primary flight controls. This is where things get confusing because the buttons that are in the system are named kind of odd. Joystick, L, axis, X, rotation, that type of thing. So for this particular joystick, or this particular yoke, you can see here we have Z axis, okay, Z rotation, Y rotation, X rotation. So this is really helpful in actually understanding which one does what on the yoke, because this doesn't actually tell you. So without something like this and it's an overlay to let you know, it'll be very confusing. So in this case, if you have the CH Eclipse or the CH standard yoke, these should coincide. So joystick L, axis X, joystick L, axis Y. That'll give you your ailerons and elevator. Okay, so for flaps, scroll down, we're using 7 and 8. These buttons here, 7, 8, so the outer toggle. Okay, now for spoilers, we're using the joystick R axis Y axis, which is this one. Okay, this is the axis Y rotation. So that's this. And I use that for spoilers. Trim section, 18, 19, and 15 and 16. So for rudder trim, left, right, 18, 19. Elevator trim, up, down, 15, 16. So again, we have 15, 16, this wheel, and 18, 19 is that wheel. And the last button I have is the trigger on the right horn, which is the number 2 for the flashlight. So at night, I can just click that and that'll turn on my flashlight, which would be the button right in the front here, which is number 2. Okay, so now we'll move on to the throttle quadrant. And we'll actually switch this picture out with the quadrant. There we go. Now we got our quadrant there, and we can see this is actually pretty simple, the quadrant. The axis are XYZ, XYZ, okay? And they're either standard axis or rotation axis. So XYZ corresponds to throttle, throttle, prop. X rotation, XYZ, corresponds to prop, mixture, mixture. Kind of odd naming convention, so this is where you'll run into trouble trying to get it set up. Everything else button wise is easy, up, down, okay? And then same with the detents, 13 through 23. So there's 2 detents here, right? But again, these buttons go up, odd, they go down, even. So pretty simple. So I'm not going to jump back and forth because that's pretty self-explanatory, up or down. So with the quadrant, scroll back up here. I have toggle pushback, 5 and 6. Either one will work. For me, doesn't matter to me. That'll toggle your pushback. I actually have my cow flaps set here for 1, 3, 2, 4. So 1, 3, 2, 4 for cow flaps on the quadrant. Now for cockpit cameras and external view cameras, both of them, to reset the view, button number 9 on the quadrant. Now come the axis. So again, this is where you want to pay attention to that odd little letter right after the word joystick. So mixture will be joystick R axis Y, joystick R axis Z. Okay. Prop is going to be joystick L axis Z, joystick R axis X. And then finally for throttle, joystick L axis X and joystick L axis Y. If you need to reverse them, just put the little checkbox. That's pretty much it. This is how I have my CH Eclipse and CH Throttle Quadrant set up. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you in there.